number 4.
Yes.
Of the Collective Unfiltered. We in Greenville, South Carolina right now.
What up, y'all?
Yeah, we in town for the women's SEC basketball tournament.
Absolutely.
And we're bringing to you this episode, Failure. So myself and Lex, we're going to talk about the things that kind of, had the opportunity to make us or break us. And, we're still here. So, obviously it didn't break us, but, we had some tough times, some struggles. And here we are today. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to talk about it because everybody focuses on the wins and the good stuff, and they never really talk about what kind of helped shape their mindset or that pivotal point in their career, whether it was young. Some people it happens really early. Some people it's in college. Some people it doesn't occur to the professionals or their coaching career. So yeah, we're just going to dive into really how failure shapes you. It shows your true character. I mean, who are you? It's easy to be that perfect athlete, that perfect friend, that perfect boss, that perfect coworker when things are great. But who are you when things aren't going your way? So, can you just tell us a little bit about how you view failure, how failure has kind of shaped your career, not only as an athlete, but as a coach and an entrepreneur?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for me, essentially failure for me, it kind of reveals your character. And, like I mentioned at the beginning, is it going to make you or is it going to break you? Are you going to let, a setback or adversity kind of define your career or your path or whatever it is you're doing? It doesn't have to be in sport, but just in life. Are you going to let that define you? And for me, failure, I've had, setbacks, and it hasn't all been easy. And for me, the failure, I think, essentially, when it first happened, my first kind of real piece of failure in sport was not being chosen for my regional team in soccer simply because of the color of my skin. And so for me, it was, that's out of my control. But at the same time, I felt like, what could I have done to be better, to make them not question who I was as a young black female playing soccer. And there weren't a lot of athletes my color playing soccer and being a goalkeeper at that. When people see me and I tell them I play soccer, they're like, oh, you're a forward or defender, because I was fast. I'm fast, and that stereotype. But so for me, not being chosen for that regional team to represent my state and my city because of the color of my skin, I was like, dang, what did I do? Like, I thought I was good. I thought I performed very well over those 2 days. But so to me, I was like, I kind of failed. I didn't make it. So for me, I went back to the drawing board. I worked with my mentor, and boom, I went at it, and I still had the opportunity to go. But it just happened to be with the composite team. But I still went, and I played my butt off, and essentially that got me to the national team. So, and then then moving forward, as I've gone through my college career, and had a great college career, I get to professional. And, it was always my dream to be a professional athlete, to play soccer professionally, basically to do whatever I could do, to not work a 9 to 5, and to make my 9 to 5 soccer.
Absolutely.
Like, I was never going to sit at a desk. Like, could you imagine me sitting at a desk?
Oh, no. We're not made for that.
No, I wasn't built for it. So, moving forward into my career professionally, I played, I got drafted. So, okay, boom. I'm living out my dream. And then all of a sudden, I get cut, and then that next season, the league folds. And so it's just like, dang, now what? And I didn't choose to go overseas. And, so to me, it's like, I don't look at my professional career as a failure, but because there were things that were out of my control, but I felt like I kind of didn't get to follow out that dream.
Right.
So
it's not really like a personal failure, just so y'all know.
Yeah, it's not a personal failure, but it was kind of one of those things, and it's not a regret, but at the same time, I felt like, what could I have done more to maybe pursue overseas and to play more and to kind of finish out my career on my terms. And so, and then as I come into my professional career as an entrepreneur, entrepreneurship is hard.
Man,
you know that. I know you in your first full year of not playing, it's just
tough.
strictly being an entrepreneur, but it's hard, and you face a lot of no's. You face a lot of struggles, and
A lot.
you know, there comes a lot of networking, and
Using
talking
your
to
resources.
people. Exactly, using your resources. Obviously you have to brand yourself, and I'm just now getting to the point. It's been 2016 till now, so
Yep.
about 4 years, and I'm just now kind of reaching that point where I have a brand and people know me, and
Right.
people see me, and they want to train with me, and they want to work with me, and they want to bring me into their businesses, and so on and so forth. So now I'm starting to hit that point.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, man, it was a struggle.
Well, people want to know, who are you? Are you here to stay? Is it legit? They want the song and dance man or woman over there to, fluff your ears up with everything you want to hear. Oh yeah, bring them over here. We got this. We do this. We do that. And meantime, you stand in your ground like, nah, I got this.
Yeah.
4 years, y'all. Y'all don't understand. I don't think you understand. People think you fail if you don't get the success you want in your first year of whatever it is you do.
Mm-hmm.
But the part that you're learning, you're growing, you're trying to grasp what to do for that success, and not success for a short time. Like, success is like sustainable success. Success is something, like you said, people know your brand. People know the Goalkeeping Academy. People know who Jaimel Johnson is.
Right.
People know she's a beast. Bottom line, right? But it didn't happen overnight.
Not at all. Not at all. And it's still a continuous process of branding myself and continuing to educate myself in my craft, and reaching out to people and learning from people that have done what I've done or are trying to do what I'm doing, and they failed multiple times, and I continue to just kind of build and build and build, and like I said, I learn from you every day.
Yeah.
And we learn from each other.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's just like it's a continuous process of trials and tribulations, but you can't let that deter you from ultimately your dreams and your goals.
No.
So I know you kind of in your first year.
Yeah.
True entrepreneurship and really kind of pushing for those dreams. What were kind of the setbacks that got you to this point?
Well, I think my first real setback probably occurred in the WNBA. All was well, right? Coming off of the 2 college championships, then winning the first year as a pro athlete, that was awesome. The next year, not so much. Injuries, coaching changes. Then our team gets sold to Tulsa. That was a bad situation. And I literally had to pray a lot because I felt like I was quitting if I asked for a trade. But I ended up, because it was better for my future, and asked for a trade. Ended up in Minnesota. But I wasn't playing how I was playing when I first came in the league. I wasn't getting the minutes that I felt like I was working for. Now, off court, if we were judging off court behavior by how many minutes I should get, by far, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I should have been riding the bench. But if we're talking about how hard I go in practice, or the energy, the team, the selflessness, I felt like I deserved more. So I went to Phoenix. Similar situation. It was kind of an up and down season, and after that, I took a year off. Well, actually, my agent told me that no team in the WNBA wanted me, and to me, that was failure. Everything that I worked towards, everything that I wanted to do, my dream as a little girl to play pro for 10 years or more, felt like it was just gone, right? Vanished. I actually took about a year, almost a year and a half off basketball because I didn't think I loved the game. I didn't know if I still loved it as a player. And I started coaching middle school, Catholic school at that, and I said, I do love this game. So I started training as an athlete again, as well as coaching and training privately. But that was probably my biggest failure, just not being in the position I felt I was destined and supposed to be in. But then again, I got complacent. So failure reveals character. And I didn't quit basketball, but I definitely had to take about 5 steps back and reflect, who am I and what am I willing to do to get what I say I want. And I think that's when my true character was revealed, because I went straight back to the grind, straight back to working out, doing the extra, all the little stuff. And then I went back and played, obviously, overseas for the next 5 years of my career. So I did go my 10 plus. I went 11 years, but that right there was probably the biggest failure as a basketball player for me.
Yeah, and for me, I think, when I left college coaching, and I moved into being an entrepreneur, starting my own goalkeeper academy and training. I was like, oh, boom. Me and my mom, we sat down, we created a business plan of what I'm going to do when I get to Atlanta, this and that. I'm like, all right, boom, I'm ready to go. Get back to Atlanta. I work with a guy setting up a website and everything. And it's like, okay, now I got to get my name out there. How do I do that? So literally for like May, June, July, August, I probably have like a couple kids that I'm starting to train.
Yeah.
It was hard. Like I really started to question,
Is this what I'm supposed to be
damn,
doing?
is this did I make the right decision? And I literally I was really leaning on my mom because she was a huge support system of continuing to push me and encourage me and to let me know like you're amazing at what you do. Keep at it. It's not gonna happen overnight.
Right.
And then I got in with the club team and started working and training and people started to get to know me, but I really struggled in those first 4 months of wondering like, is this the right decision? Like I'm struggling. I am struggling.
Yep.
And so it was just like I really started to question, but for me with the competitor in me was like, nah,
I got this.
You got this. And then I started grinding and working and networking within, my club program and get my name out in Atlanta, and people started to recognize, what I could do and what I could bring to the table. But which you know that going into basketball,
it's the same. It's the same exact thing. I mean, now I have Alexis Hornbuckle basketball, but my God, I went through I don't know how many different logos or name changes, and I thought that's what it was, but I didn't lock into one location and say, hey, I'm going to get everything I can here, and then we'll let that snowball effect take place. Bottom line, you're going to fail a lot. I mean, a lot more than any person probably cares to admit.
Right.
And cares to go through. And some people have it better than others, and some people are blessed enough to not really have to experience a lot of failures before they get to their success, but even within their success they'll have failures, because whether you're a coworker, whether it's your business as an entrepreneur, you're going to have things that you think is an awesome idea, great idea, and it just doesn't work. Right? Yeah, it doesn't work. You're comparing ads, and you're like, oh, this ad did well right here and this ad didn't do well. Oh, I got the perfect ad. And then you pay for it, you put the money behind it, you put the effort behind it, and then it's like, well, this one did worse than this, and it's a lot of that. So, and that happens with sports. I mean, it's the SEC it's March Madness. End of the day, we're here because we're SEC all day. But it's the SEC tournament. Think about the ones that went out in the first round, the second round, the people that are competing that is going to go head to head, the upsets that are occurring. But guess what? They're still NCAA tournament. But if you're not winning your conference championship, that's a failure, right? But do we quit? No. Why did we fail? How did we lose? What could I have done better? What could we as a team have done better? And it's the same exact thing, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a business, whether it's your sports, whatever it is, you have to be able to take failure and success humbly, honestly, and then with your chin up. At the end of the day, you don't walk around with your head down no matter how bad it gets. Walk with your head high and say, I got this. I can do this. I'm here for a reason. I put in X amount of hours practicing my craft, pushing this, networking, sending emails, answering calls, whatever it is, it's going to match up. And obviously you see that now in your fourth year.
Yeah, for sure. And I think another big piece that some people don't talk about with failure is surrounding yourself with people who are going to support you and push you through that failure.
Oh, yeah.
And, like I said, my mom was a huge support system. My family, my inner circle, and, the rest of my inner circle. But, they continue to push me. They continue to encourage me, speak life into me, give me that positive energy. Like, yo, you, like you said, like, yo, she a beast. Like, you do that back and forth every day because it's true.
Yeah.
And, and then it becomes really rewarding when you have your players that are looking up to you and you see the development over a period of time.
Oh, yeah.
I started to for the kids that I was training, I started to see that development and that growth, and I was like, I got this.
I'm good. I'm supposed to be doing this.
We're gonna get there.
It's rewarding too.
It is rewarding. So I think, for those of you out there who, you're pushing for your dreams and your goals and feel like you keep hitting setback after setback, you got to keep going. Keep reevaluating. Don't look at necessarily as a failure, but take it as a lesson learned. Okay, well, I tried it this way, and this didn't work out for me this way. Like you said, you were going from different logos, different name changes, and this and that, but you've taken bits and pieces from each of those. I still got your first shirt. I had it on the other day.
Yeah, you did have it on the other day.
Still says Get Buckets Championship Training.
Oh yeah.
Like all that, but you've taken bits and pieces, and that was your first one.
Yeah.
You've taken bits and pieces along the way to figure out, okay, I didn't quite get it right this time, but what did I learn from that experience? Even though it was unsuccessful, what did I learn from it?
Yeah.
And so, sometimes we look at the failures, we tend to dwell on the negative because that's the most glaring. But you got to find the positive in it and take from that, and everything else is a lesson learned.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you feel like you failed or it didn't go the way that you felt like it should, or that you saw, don't quit. Never quit. Whatever you do, stay in motion. It may be a time where you're sprinting at that race and you're winning and everything is great, but it also may be a time where you have to walk or you have to crawl. And to put it into an analogy for sports, it's literally like an injury. Because anytime an athlete gets hurt and it takes you out of your normal routine, you can't train, you can't play, you feel like, number one, you're letting your team down.
Yeah.
Number two, it kind of, if you allow it, it will create distance between you and your teammates or that team, and you can't do that. Just like if it's an injury, hey, what I gotta do? I sprain my ankle, ice bath, whatever it is, exercises, stem, whatever it is, we're gonna get this done. So if I don't complete something for my basketball or for North Carolina Reign AAU, or if you don't do it for Goalkeeping Academy, it doesn't matter that it didn't happen this time. What caused it not to happen, and how can I make it happen? Like, if you're always thinking, how can I make it happen? Yeah, I failed. Yep, dang, I failed again. Dang, I failed like 5 times in a row. Okay, how do I make this happen? Because if you want to do it, you can do it. Period. Failure won't stop. Bottom line, unfiltered fans, friends, and family, no matter what it is, no matter how it's going down, if it's not happening the way you want right now, that's okay. Don't stop. Don't get discouraged.
Ever.
Don't even say, you know what, I'm going to leave this project, or I'm going to leave this job, or I'm going to, not do this. Stop. Take a big, deep breath. Pray about it, number one. And then ask yourself, is this what I want to do? Do I feel like this is a part of my purpose? Am I passionate about it? Because if the answer is yes, you have to keep going. It's not going to be easy. Nothing ever worth having is ever easy. So you're going to have to work for it, no matter what it is. But just remember, your failure is what will fuel you to your success, ultimately. So keep on going. You got to crawl before you walk.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you got to get knocked down many, many times. But as long as we keep getting back up, we're good to go. Thank you for tuning in today to the Collective Unfiltered.
And just remember always, be unfiltered in your truth.
Yeah.